Most people want a powerful life. Few are willing to live a disciplined one. We admire strength, influence, confidence, success. We applaud those who lead, who build, who rise above the average. But what we often don't see is the foundation beneath that power. Discipline is not glamorous. It is not loud. It does not trend. It works quietly in the background, shaping habits, refining character, and building structure. If you want authority in public, you must develop control in private. If you want influence over circumstances, you must first gain influence over yourself. A powerful life is not created by chance. It is constructed by choice, daily, consistently, intentionally. Today is about choosing structure over chaos, purpose over emotion, growth over comfort, responsibility over blame, consistency over excitement. Because power without discipline collapses, but discipline without applause builds unshakable strength. Power begins within. Before you can influence a room, build an organization, lead a family, or transform a nation, you must first conquer yourself. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not with competitors, critics, or circumstances. It is the battle between who you are now and who you are capable of becoming. Self-mastery is the foundation of all lasting power. If you cannot command your thoughts, you cannot command your future. If you cannot control your impulses, you will always be controlled by consequences. A disciplined person understands that emotions are real, but they are not rulers. Feelings are indicators, not dictators. Anger may visit you, but it must not control your speech. Fear may knock at your door, but it must not determine your decisions. Impatience may whisper to you, but it must not rush your destiny. When you master yourself, you pause before reacting. You think before speaking. You evaluate before deciding. That pause is power. That restraint is strength. Most people want authority over others without authority over themselves. That is dangerous. True leadership flows from internal order. When your mind is organized, your life becomes organized. When your priorities are clear, your actions become intentional. Self-mastery means waking up when you said you would wake up. It means doing what you promised yourself you would do. It means honoring commitments even when no one is watching. Integrity is self-discipline in private. You cannot build a powerful life on unstable habits. Your habits are building you daily. Every repeated action becomes a pattern, and every pattern becomes a lifestyle. If you allow laziness, procrastination, and distraction to rule you, they will quietly sabotage your potential. But when you discipline your body, your speech, your finances, your thoughts, you create structure. Structure produces stability. Stability produces confidence. Confidence produces influence. Self-mastery also means guarding your mind. What you feed your mind shapes your beliefs, and your beliefs shape your behavior. If you constantly entertain negativity, comparison, and doubt, your actions will reflect insecurity. But if you train your mind with truth, vision, and purpose, you begin to act with clarity. A powerful person is not easily shaken because their foundation is internal, not external. Living with purpose, not emotion, is the next dimension of disciplined power. Purpose gives direction to your energy. Without purpose, energy becomes scattered. You start many things, but finish few. You chase excitement instead of assignment. Purpose anchors you when emotions fluctuate. Emotions rise and fall like waves, but purpose stands firm like a rock. When you live by emotion, you work only when you feel motivated. You forgive only when you feel like it. You invest only when you are comfortable. That kind of life produces inconsistency. But when you live by purpose, you act because it aligns with your mission, not because it feels easy. You show up because you decided to show up. You persist because you understand the vision. You remain steady because you know where you are going. Purpose demands clarity. You must define why you exist, what you value, and what you are building. When your why is strong, your discipline becomes natural. You stop asking, how do I feel today? And you start asking, what must be done today? That shift changes everything. It moves you from reaction to intention. Living with purpose also protects you from distractions. Opportunities will come, Opinions will come. Criticism will come. But not every open door is meant for you. When you are emotionally driven, you chase approval and avoid discomfort. When you are purpose-driven, you evaluate decisions based on alignment. Does this serve the vision? Does this move me forward? Does this strengthen my assignment? A powerful life is not loud. It is focused. It is intentional. It is governed from within. When self-mastery becomes your lifestyle and purpose becomes your compass, your actions gain weight. Your words gain authority. Your presence carries confidence. You are no longer tossed by moods or manipulated by circumstances. You operate from conviction. You move with clarity. You build with intention. Time is the most valuable currency you possess. It is more precious than money, more limited than opportunity, and more powerful than talent. You can recover lost income. You can rebuild a broken business. You can restore damaged relationships. But you cannot retrieve a wasted hour. Every day you are given 24 hours. And whether you treat them casually or carefully determines the quality of your future. Powerful people understand that time is life in measurable form. To waste time is to waste destiny. Most individuals complain that they do not have enough time, yet they spend it without awareness. Discipline begins with recognizing that every minute carries potential. An hour invested in growth multiplies tomorrow. An hour invested in distraction diminishes possibility. Time does not announce its departure. It quietly slips away while you scroll, postpone, and delay. A disciplined mind asks daily, is this worthy of my time? Protecting your time requires boundaries. You cannot say yes to everything and still remain focused. Every commitment is a transaction. When you agree to one thing, you subtract from another. If you give your best energy to trivial matters, you will have little left for meaningful work. Powerful living demands that you schedule priorities instead of prioritizing your schedule. Put first what truly matters and let lesser things wait. Morning discipline shapes daily success. The way you begin your day often determines how you finish it. If you wake up without intention, you will drift into reaction. But when you rise with clarity, plan your tasks, and decide your direction, your day becomes purposeful. Order eliminates confusion. Planning eliminates hesitation. Structure eliminates wasted motion. Time management is not about being busy. It is about being effective. Many people fill their calendars yet produce little impact. Activity is not achievement. Movement is not progress. Discipline teaches you to focus on what produces results. Identify the vital few tasks that move your vision forward and give them concentrated attention. Remove unnecessary meetings. Limit idle conversations. Reduce digital distractions. Guard your attention as fiercely as you guard your finances. Respecting time also means respecting seasons. There is a season to build, a season to learn, a season to sacrifice. Not every season is glamorous. Some seasons require quiet preparation. Others demand intense execution. When you understand the season you are in, you stop comparing your journey with others. You concentrate on maximizing your present moment. Growth is a daily responsibility, not an occasional event. The moment you stop developing, you start declining. Growth is not automatic. Aging is automatic. Progress requires intention. A powerful person commits to constant improvement in knowledge, character, skill, and wisdom. They do not wait for inspiration. They create discipline. Reading expands perspective. Learning refines thinking. Mentorship accelerates maturity. When you expose yourself to new ideas, you stretch your capacity. A stagnant mind produces stagnant results, but a growing mind generates innovation, solutions, and confidence. Discipline yourself to study even when you feel accomplished. Success can create complacency if you allow it. Growth also requires humility. You must be willing to admit what you do not know. Pride resists correction. Discipline welcomes it. Feedback is not an attack, it is refinement. When someone corrects you, they are sharpening you. When you reflect on your mistakes, you transform them into lessons. Every failure carries information for improvement. Physical growth, mental growth, spiritual growth, financial growth, all demand consistency. You cannot exercise once and expect strength. You cannot read once and expect wisdom. You cannot save once and expect wealth. Growth compounds through repetition. Small daily improvements become extraordinary results over time. Discomfort is evidence of expansion. When you feel stretched, challenged, and sometimes uncertain, you are growing. Comfort feels safe, but often keeps you stagnant. Discipline chooses development over convenience. It chooses long-term transformation over short-term ease. When you honor time and commit to growth, you position yourself for sustained influence. Your days become intentional. Your habits become productive. Your mind becomes sharper. Your skills become stronger. Your capacity increases steadily. You operate with awareness instead of drift. You invest hours with purpose. You pursue improvement with discipline. You expand beyond limitations. No one succeeds alone, and no one fails alone. The people around you are either fueling your discipline or feeding your distractions. Environment is not a small factor in your development. It is a dominant force. You may possess ambition, intelligence, and even talent, but if you consistently surround yourself with confusion, negativity, and complacency, your progress will slow down. Discipline requires alignment between your vision and your surroundings. Every environment carries a culture. Conversations shape thinking. Expectations shape performance. If you spend your time among people who complain, you will begin to normalize excuses. If you spend your time among people who strive, you will begin to normalize excellence. What is common around you eventually becomes common within you. That is why controlling your environment is an act of wisdom, not pride. You must evaluate what enters your mind daily. The books you read, the content you consume, the music you listen to, the voices you entertain. These elements quietly program your beliefs. Discipline demands that you become selective. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every invitation deserves your presence. You cannot afford to absorb chaos and expect clarity. Sometimes controlling your environment means reducing access. It may mean limiting social media. It may mean declining gatherings that drain your focus. It may mean stepping away from relationships that undermine your growth. This is not about isolation. It is about intentional influence. You are responsible for protecting your future, and that requires courage to make difficult adjustments. Mentorship is also part of environment. Seek individuals who challenge your thinking and stretch your capacity. A strong mentor does not flatter you. They refine you. They ask hard questions. They demand accountability. They see potential beyond your comfort zone. When you position yourself around disciplined leaders, their standards elevate yours. Physical environment matters as well. Cluttered spaces often produce cluttered thoughts. Order creates clarity. A structured workspace reinforces structured thinking. When your surroundings reflect discipline, your behavior begins to mirror it. Excellence is not accidental. It is cultivated through intentional conditions. Delayed gratification is the hallmark of maturity. The undisciplined mind seeks immediate pleasure, immediate validation, immediate reward. But power belongs to those who can wait. Discipline understands that today's sacrifice becomes tomorrow's strength. It understands that planting precedes harvest. Instant gratification feels satisfying in the moment, but often produces regret later. Impulsive spending weakens financial stability. Impulsive words damage relationships. Impulsive decisions disrupt long-term goals. When you train yourself to pause before acting, you gain control over outcomes. The ability to delay pleasure separates the average from the exceptional. Every meaningful achievement demands patience. Building skill requires practice. Building wealth requires investment. Building character requires testing. If you abandon the process because results are not immediate, you sabotage your own growth. Discipline teaches you to trust the process even when progress seems slow. Sacrifice is not loss, it is exchange. You exchange temporary comfort for lasting impact. You exchange entertainment for education. You exchange indulgence for improvement. Powerful individuals do not resent sacrifice because they understand its purpose. They see beyond the present moment. Delayed gratification also strengthens character. When you consistently choose what is right over what is easy, you build internal authority. You become less dependent on external approval. You are not controlled by cravings or applause. Your decisions are guided by principle, not pressure. Waiting does not mean inactivity. It means preparation. While others chase shortcuts, the disciplined person builds foundation. While others demand recognition, the disciplined person develops competence. When opportunity finally arrives, the prepared individual stands ready because they invested time wisely. The willingness to endure discomfort today positions you for freedom tomorrow. It creates stability. It produces resilience. It sharpens focus. You begin to operate with foresight instead of impulse. You measure decisions against long-term vision rather than short-term emotion. You strengthen your ability to lead yourself. You fortify your discipline through restraint. You mature through patience. You build power through controlled desire. We have walked through the principles that separate the ordinary from the exceptional. Self-mastery teaches you to control your emotions instead of being controlled by them. Purpose anchors your decisions so you are not tossed by feelings. Respecting time protects your destiny from waste. Committing to growth ensures you never stagnate. Controlling your environment guards your focus. Delayed gratification strengthens your character. Responsibility removes excuses. Consistency transforms small actions into unstoppable momentum. A disciplined life is not restrictive. It is liberating. It frees you from regret. It frees you from mediocrity. It frees you from living beneath your potential. You do not need more motivation. You need more structure. You do not need more hype. You need more habits. Greatness is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built in daily decisions no one applauds. Power is not something you wish for. It is something you prepare for.